In the headlines, court adjourns federal government ASUU case to September 16. Anambra Governor Charles Soludo condemns attack on Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, says security agencies on full alert to fish out the perpetrators. Parents lament rising cost of school fees. Away from Nigeria, Ethiopia's Tigray rebels say it is ready for AU-led peace talks. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ila. Thank you for joining. And now let's take a look at the details. The National Industrial Court in Abuja, presided over by Justice P.I. Aman, has adjourned the hearing of the suit between the federal government and Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, till September 16th. The federal government has filed a case at the Industrial Court challenging the continued strike by ASUU members. The Academic Staff Union of Universities is represented by a senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, and other senior advocates of Nigeria. We're bringing you details of that report subsequently. Meanwhile, the federal government has been called upon to fulfill its promise to the striking workers to enable students resume their academic activities. The call was made by the former Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Idi Farouk, on Trust TV's Sunday Politics. The former NOA boss added that addressing the concerns of ASUU will help ensure that the education sector of the country is not totally grounded.
Both sides have a problem as far as I'm concerned. One, the problem of government is that, if government makes a deal, you should keep to it. If you make a promise as government, you must keep to it. But on the side of the ASUU, I recall that in the last general election, they called off strike so that their members can go and conduct election. Or rather, they didn't call off the strike, they suspended the strike so that their members can go and conduct election.
As returning officers.
It doesn't really matter on whose side, who are they fighting this for? Is it for self or is it for the overall benefit of education? And in any case, 6 months is too long for any right-thinking group. The SDK know that, but they also include their emolument. So if you do the decay and you don't do the emolument, you have not satisfied their, what's it called? I also agree that they should be better paid. But so should every other person be better paid. The soldiers should be better paid. The police should be better paid. The journalists should be better paid. It's something that cuts across all strata of our society.
Now, flight operations at the Malam Aminu Kano Airport has been disrupted over a dispute between Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria and Nigeria Airspace Management Agency, NAMA. Flights scheduled to leave Kano on Monday morning were disrupted as the air traffic controllers suspended their operations, which affected landing and takeoff of flights. Similarly, flights such as Azman and Max Air scheduled for Abuja and Lagos were not allowed to leave. Reports say that the Nigerian Air Traffic Controllers Association shut down air navigation services for flights in and out of Malam Aminu Kano International Airport over power supply to NAMA facilities and staff accommodations that were disconnected. Meanwhile, the aviation unions directed their members to embark on peaceful rallies at all airports in Nigeria to demand that obnoxious clauses in the recently passed aviation law be expunged. Governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Charles Soludo, has condemned in strong terms the attack by yet-to-be-identified gunmen on Senator representing Anambra South Senatorial District, Ifeanyi Ubah's convoy, Sunday evening. According to a statement by the press secretary to the governor, Christians Aburime, all security agencies are now on full alert to fish out the perpetrators of the heinous attack and will be made to face the full wrath of the law. The governor commiserated with Uba and families of his aides who lost their lives, as well as the State Commissioner of Police for policemen who also lost their lives. The convoy of Senator Uba came under attack at Inugu Uku community in Njokoka local government area of Anambra State on Sunday. Some policemen and aides of the lawmaker representing Anambra South Senatorial District were killed in the incident. Department of State Services says outcome of its investigation on Tukur Mamu is mind-boggling. The DSS also warned those making comments it described as unguarded to stop forthwith and await court proceedings. Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Dr. Ahmad Gumi had accused the DSS of persecution of his media consultant, Tukur Mamu. In a statement issued on Sunday, the spokesman of the service, Peter Afunaya, said that the DSS should be left alone to carry out its duty. Afunaya, however, said that the DSS will not make further comments on Mamu's arrest since the court will determine its course. Afunaya said that the service will not be distracted with some of the skewed narratives in the media space, appealing that it be allowed to concentrate on investigation, the outcome of which, he said, remains mind-boggling. The Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture, Otumba Olusegun Runsewe, says that public disgrace of rapists, fraudulent persons, and perpetrators of other vices in their communities will curb crimes in the country. Runsewe said this on Sunday in an interview in Abuja. He said people found guilty of such vices should be taken to their family houses to dance by the village square to serve as a deterrent to others. The DG noted that use of such local and native approach to tackle issues of rape, advance fee fraud, and other vices will be effective due to the significance people attach to family and community ties.
We have to use the local and the native approach. People that goes abroad and come back and give us bad names now is that once somebody commits a crime, he or she should be taken close to the family house. Let them dance by the village square.
Now, 6 major roads have been cut off as ravaging flood killed 3 people, destroyed 1,400 houses, and rendered many people homeless in Zaki local government area of Bauchi State. The floods, which was triggered by torrential rains, also washed away 6 portions of the road linking Zaki and Gamawa local governments of the state. Some victims narrate their experience.
The government should come to the aid of these people. Houses have been submerged by flood, and over 6 communities were also affected. I remember vividly that we helped some Fulani people whose animals were also affected by the flood. The flood killed some people and made so many people homeless. We even visited the families of those that lost their relatives as a result of the flood. We are calling on the government to help these people.
And on health matters, the World Health Organization has begun the training of 31 community health workers in Yobe State to help contain the current outbreak of cholera. The coordinator, WHO Yobe State Field Office, Nuhu Barau Ningi, disclosed this to journalists at the opening ceremony of the training in Damaturu. The trainees will serve as ambassadors who will in turn educate the local people on the current outbreak of the cholera disease. The WHO coordinator also noted that logistics will be made available for the trainees to get to every household in the affected communities to give the right information on the prevention, exposure, and the risk of how these diseases are transmitted.
The purpose of this training is actually to empower the community stakeholders so that they are able to make an informed decision on the prevention of outbreaks. Now that we are already experiencing cholera and a threat to other outbreaks in Yobe State. In fact, that is why they are brought to this place for training. WHO is actually supporting this training, and provisions will be made to them for the logistic, for their movements to reach all the locations, in fact up to the households, so that they will get to the caregivers and all.
Residents of Sokoto are calling for urgent government's attention to tackle extreme poverty plaguing the city. This has been compounded by the influx of internally displaced persons seeking food and shelter into the metropolis. Babangida Bala reports that some residents are saying the situation is a threat to social order, not just in the capital city, but in the state.
Sokoto State sits right in the front line of the war against banditry by the security forces, as one of the hardest hit among the 4 major affected states in Northwest by insecurity arising from banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling. It has been battling other kind of social problems that have arisen as a result of conflicts. It has become commonplace to see major streets in Sokoto metropolis overtaken by IDPs who are mostly women, children, who are without an official designated camp, begging for arms and food.
These children are future of Boko Haram, and Sokoto will be worth it, because it's only in the federation where there's no serious government intervention to tackle their problem. I heard them talking about this issue Al-Majuri, that they've gotten grant from Malaysia or Indonesia. I'm calling on the Sultan of Sokoto to use this foundation, Sultan Foundation, to tackle this problem, because the government has failed.
According to Sokoto State Emergency Management Agency, they have 18,000 IDPs in their weekly record.
Initially, the camp we used to have was allocated to the army, this 8th Garrison Command, along Arkila Road there. So, but now the government has given us another land where we are going to make another camp at Gagi area. So, but most of these IDPs, they do also have some temporary camps within the town.
Yet, there has not been any arrangement by state government in form of camps put in place to manage the IDPs, a situation that forced people like Amamatu, a displaced person from eastern part of Sokoto State, to resort into begging to feed her 6 children.
Bandits killed the father of my children after he left home to hustle for the ram to be used for the naming of our then unborn baby. He left me with 6 children. It was on Friday he left.
Yet when you ask police where is a particular place that is meant for the accommodation of the IDPs, what is the role of the government? What is the government spending every day in terms of their health care, in terms of their feeding, in terms of the education of their children? All these things are really not there.
Eastern Senatorial District have been worst hit by the banditry in the state. This area is made of Sabon Birni, Isa, Ilela, Gada, Gwadabawa, Gwaranyu, and Raba local government areas.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at skin decoration that defies modernity. Details of this and more after the break.
Which kind of wire you gonna need to light up your light? Oh man, the quality wire. Now which kind of cable you gonna need to light up your house? Oh man, the quality cable. Coleman quality. Coleman wire. Coleman durable. Coleman cable. Coleman tank. come and see. Now come and be the Baba. Oh man, won't light up your life. Now come and be the Baba. Come and see. Now come and be the C-O-L-E-N-A-A. Quality, quality. Oh man. Put a bull, put a bull. Oh yeah. Now come and be the Baba.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Here is a reminder of our top stories. Court adjourns federal government ASU case to September 16. Anambra Governor Charles Soludo condemns attack on Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, says security agencies on full alert to fish out the perpetrators. In some other news, some parents in Adamawa State are considering changing schools for their kids due to rising school fees. They are therefore appealing to school administrators, especially private schools, to reduce school fees as new session begins. They made the appeal in an interview with Trust TV's correspondent Salis Lawal in Yola.
Adamawa State Government, through the Ministry of Education, has set Monday, September 19 as the commencement of academic activities for the first time of the 2022-2023 session. The date, which is expected to be a thing of joy as the new academic calendar begins, however, did not have that effect, as many parents are faced with challenge of handling the daily needs of their children while in school, as well as the increase in school fees due to the present economic realities. They said it will not be a bad idea if school administrators consider the present economic challenges and allow parents to pay school fees in installments.
Even to provide necessary things to the children, we are finding it difficult, talk less of school fees. So we are going to find it hard, but it is a necessity for us. We have to look other means to source for the income to pay the school fees.
You talk about school fees resistance. It is a very difficult situation as long as we, the parents, are in charge of our duties of our children. I think things are very difficult. The economy was too bad. Citizens are frustrated in the country.
Adamu Jingi, a school proprietor, says the idea was not about one, but schools must times run at a loss. Explained that in many occasions, students change schools to avoid paying the fees on their former schools.
Yara in ka dogara akan duk wanda bai biya baka kori ɗansa a makaranta. A yanzu haka wani makaranta wasu kira su yara bakwai, wani wuri su 15.
Yes, of course, high fees are the reason. You find some parents changing schools for their children almost every year. But I can assure you it wasn't intentional. The situation is beyond our control. Sometimes that room granted parents to pay school fees of their children instrumentally is violated, leading to schools running at a loss. so we're left with no option rather than blocking it. Teachers who are at the receiving end said they are not finding it easy to catch up with their family needs.
We equally experience such hardship from parents, from school management, from the staff, and everybody, counting from payment of school fees. We have started the new session, a new term. The student needs new uniform, new writing and reading materials. Everything is above our shoulder. We parents and everybody.
You can see a situation whereby students are paying school fees. At times they pay halfway. Sometimes you can find out that they will not pay at all. You have to allow them. Some of them, when there will be time that will come, they tell you they will go, they will change school or they will go somewhere, or you just stop seeing them, just because of the situation. So we are not in a good situation as far as economy of the school and ourselves is concerned.
Stakeholders say a reduction of school fees will go a long way to ease the burden on parents, especially those who have more than 2 children enrolled in the schools. Salis Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
Now, henna, otherwise called lalle in Hausa, has been a long tradition in Nigeria that defies modernity, especially in northern parts of the country. This age-long tradition, instead of disappearing, only experienced a paradigm shift from the old method of application to an even modern way. Bello Musa has more on this.
Henna design is an old cultural way women, especially in the north, used to decorate their skin. Some women in Kaduna say application of henna not only makes fashion statement, it is must for big wedding event. Henna is a kind of dye prepared from henna tree, application of which is also called kunshi in Hausa. Women, especially in northern Nigeria, decorate their skin with henna during ceremony like wedding, marriage, or during festivities like Salah, though women love it so much that they apply it for leisure.
Henna is a decoration that women used to do it to beautify their skin during occasion like naming ceremony, wedding, Salah, and any other activities. Some of them are doing it for their husband and some of them for their boyfriends.
However, in the olden days, women apply henna without much design, but as time flies, modern henna comes in different design.
We have different types of henna. Like we have bridal henna, we have casual, we have special casual.
Some women express why they like being decorated with henna.
Well, actually, I love henna decoration because I love fashion and I'm a fashion designer.
I do henna mostly I do it because it looks beautiful, to beautify myself, to beautify my hands and my feet.
How does a woman feel like when she applies henna?
Well, I feel so excited, feeling on top of the world, seeing the design on my skin.
It's eye-catching. So whenever we do it and you see your hands, they look different, they look beautiful. You know, especially from the northern part of Nigeria, we like doing that. It makes us look beautiful, it makes us look unique.
Nowadays, celebrating wedding, naming ceremony or festival like Salah is incomplete without women applying henna on their hands or legs. In those days, women personally apply henna on their skin, but the introduction of modern design, many henna artists like Jamila Mahmood finds it a lucrative business. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Quite interesting report. Now, the federal government will soon launch a national database portal on the real owners of companies in the petroleum industry as well as other sectors towards promoting transparency and to curb illegal financing. The Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Extractive Industries, Transparency Initiative, Orji Ogbonnaya, stated this in an interview with Daily Trust at the weekend. He said that the beneficial ownership teaches the citizens how to use the data generated from the portal to ask informed questions or promote public debate and decide how to improve, track transparency and accountability. He said NAETI has started a process for the validation for Nigeria, which is done every 3 years with the team from AT headquarters in Oslo, who will arrive Nigeria to evaluate what the country has done in the last 3 years. Now, away from Nigeria, Ethiopia's Tigray rebels say that they are ready to take part in peace talks led by the African Union, removing an obstacle to potential negotiations with the government to end almost 2 years of fighting. The announcement was made amid a flurry of international diplomacy after fighting fled last month for the first time in months in northern Ethiopia, torpedoing a humanitarian truce. A statement by the authorities in the northern region of the Tigray say that they are ready to abide by an immediate and mutually agreed cessation of hostilities in order to create a conducive atmosphere. There was no immediate comment from the Ethiopian government, which has long insisted that any peace process must be brokered by the Addis Ababa headquartered AU. Still on the foreign scene, King Charles III has made his first visit to Parliament as monarch, with MPs and peers offering their condolences to him and the Queen Consort. In his reply to the lawmakers, the King said that connections to his darling late mother were all round Parliament, which he described as the living and breathing instrument of the nation's democracy. As he spoke, a sea of thoughtful, contemplative faces listened with rapt attention. Afterwards, the King managed a few smiles as he acknowledged various familiar faces in the congregation. The British monarch and the Queen Consort are on the way to Edinburgh, where the Queen's coffin rests at the palace of the Holyrood House. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms, and also don't forget to watch us live on YouTube. I am Ayuba Ile. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.